All right, so I put this on my story, but I want to make a video about it. One piece of advice that I have to give everybody is never order a special roll at a sushi restaurant. It is the biggest ripoff in the world. Now, before I start, I just want to say two things. First, if you like special rolls and you're okay overpaying for them, like, okay, get it. Like, I believe people should just eat things that they enjoy, whatever. Get it, fine. I don't get into that conversation. Two, before you want to argue with me about whether I'm right or wrong, take a look at yourself and take a look at me. Who do you think knows more about sushi? I do. Let's get into this. So, the first thing to remember about sushi is that sushi, you're paying a giant premium, right? You're always paying about 25% extra, 25 to 50% extra for sushi, right? And you can tell this based upon the discrepancy between sushi prices and poke prices. Poke is typically 50% less per like the same amount of food as sushi is, right? Like if you were to order like a poke bowl's worth of maki rolls, like it would be about 2 times more than poke. And the reason is because the sushi chef, to put on the hat and do the whole thing, you have to pay them a whole lot more than you have to pay, a $15 an hour maki person who puts stuff into a bowl. And then also because the brand, you get to put more money on it, right? Because of this, when you get sushi, you want to actually maximize the quality as much as possible because bad sushi, especially if you're not getting a huge discount on it, is you're overpaying for that premium without getting any of the value from it, right? It's the same thing as somebody like ordering like a Wagyu beef, and getting it well done and smothering it in A1 sauce. It's like at that point, just order a hamburger. Why are you doing this? Or like getting a margarita with Casa Azul tequila, right? A margarita is specifically designed to mask the flavor of tequila. There's no reason to get the most expensive tequila and put it in a margarita. It's gonna taste the same no matter what. So let's go into the sushi, right? So like with nigiri is typically the highest quality. Nigiri and sashimi, I'll put nigiri slightly above because there's more of like an art form and a history of nigiri. Like if you go to like all the world-class 2-3 Michelin star sushi restaurants, all of them are doing nigiri, not sashimi. So that's why nigiri is number one. But like what you're getting for with sushi is you're paying for the taste of the raw fish, right? Basically, the basic thing that makes one piece of sushi better than another piece of sushi is how rich the flavor is of that raw fish, the quality of the fish, right? So when you're getting a special roll, right? A special roll is typically about 2.5 to 3 times the price of a maki, and you get about 2 times the amount of food, right? So you're basically, a special roll is basically like ordering like 2.5 tuna makis, right? In terms of price, right? And also like in terms of the food, right? The problem is that you're not getting 2.5 tuna makis, right? So if you look at special rolls, typically what they're filled with one of 4 things, right? So they're either filled with imitation crab. Let me see. I took a couple of these. So like you have imitation crab, or you get avocado. Or what you get is spicy tuna a lot of the times in the middle of a special roll, right? Or you get shrimp tempura, right? So imitation crab obviously is not crab, right? It's really cheap. If you were to get like an actual imitation crab roll or imitation crab as a thing, it would be dramatically cheaper than fresh raw tuna, right? So basically you're getting 2 tuna maki rolls, but one of them is an imitation crab roll, one of them is a tuna maki roll, and you're paying the price of 2 tuna maki rolls for that, right? Now, if it's avocado, avocado is more expensive than imitation crab, but it is still far cheaper than fresh tuna and fresh salmon. So again, you're overpaying for that, right? Like if you were to order a tuna maki and a salmon and an avocado maki at a sushi restaurant, it would not be the same price as 2 tuna maki rolls, right? Now, one thing that I guess a lot of people don't know this, but like spicy tuna and spicy salmon is old tuna and salmon, right? So the way that like restaurants do this is they buy tuna. Let's say they have a rule that the tuna is good for like 2 days, right, or 3 days, right? Once it reaches that 3-day mark, they still have a lot of tuna that's unsold. So what they do is they like mix it up. They put a lot of spice in it as well, so that you can't tell that the tuna is bad. Now it's not actually bad. It's not actually going to like cause any sort of illness. But if they were to put that on a nigiri, you'd be like, what the hell is this? This is terrible, right? So you're basically paying for you're basically paying fresh tuna prices for old tuna, right? And then the final thing is shrimp, right? Again, like shrimp, I would typically recommend against getting shrimp at sushi restaurants, and the reason is same thing, right? Shrimp costs a lot less. Most shrimp, like if you have actual like really good quality shrimp, like I got some great shrimp when I was at sushi restaurants in Japan, and that's different. That's a whole different category. But most of the shrimp that you get at sushi restaurants is that like thin, like it kind of tastes like chalky a little bit, right? Like that should not be the same price as tuna, right? So even if you put that in tempura, again, tempura follows the same, rule as spicy tuna and spicy salmon. They take the old shrimp and they use that for the tempura because they can't use it in regular setting anymore, right? So you're paying this premium for the old, for these 4 categories, right? And then on top of that, most special rolls, and all special rolls are different, but most special rolls have, shrimp tempura or whatever, and then like they have like salmon or tuna on top, right? But that salmon and tuna, again, is usually of the older variety, and I'll explain why in a second, but they also skimp on the actual portions, right? That typically is not the actual portion of what you get in a maki roll, right? It's about 66 to 75% as much, right? So what you're doing, again, is you're paying the full price for 2.5 tuna rolls, and what you're getting in return is a tuna roll, a imitation crab roll, and the tuna roll is like 66% of the price. And then the added thing that they do is they always put like these sauces on it, right? And like I like the sauces, they're fine, right? But you have to realize like why do people put sauce on food, right? Because like if you go to like a really quality sushi restaurant in Japan, most of the time they do not have sauces. I'd say like, I spent 2 weeks in Japan. I went to about 20 sushi restaurants. I'd say 95% didn't put sauce on it. Even when they do, they put like a little like garnish on top. And the reason is it's clear, right? Because the thing that you're paying for is the quality of the fish, right? If you're putting a sauce on it, you're counteracting that quality, right? Again, it's the same reason why like if you go to like a high-end steakhouse and you ask for A1, they're gonna look at you funny, or they'll be like, why would you put A1 on this, right? It's like asking for ketchup with caviar. Like no, you're masking the flavor. Again, it's similar to like putting ranch on pizza, but I'm not even gonna get into that whole conversation, right? So what they're doing is they're giving you lower quality products, they're giving you less of those products, and they're masking the bad flavor of that with too much sauce, right? And again, like you look here, you have, this is shrimp tempura. I'm guessing this is a cucumber, and you have avocado on top with a chipotle mayonnaise, and then I'm guessing some sort of, that's either soy sauce or like ponzu, right? That's costing you $16. If you were to get that in terms of, actual makis, 12, 13, it's just a ripoff, right? Now, there are a couple of special rolls from time to time. So this one, if you look at this is shrimp tempura, again, huge red flag. And then it has cooked shrimp on top, which again is cooked salmon on top, which again is old salmon. This, I hope they give you a discount on this because this is just crap, right? And then this, you have salmon cream cheese. So this one has salmon in the middle instead of salmon on top. But again, you have salmon cream cheese and you have crunches on top. This is just basically a large salmon roll with half the salmon. They're filling it with cream cheese and cucumbers in order to take up space. There is one special roll that I've gotten in my life that I do recommend. it's still like against the purity of sushi, but I'm only a sushi purist up until a certain point. I'm only a sushi purist up until the point of it actually impacting quality. Like I don't really care about it in term, like I'm not like dogmatic about it, but there's one sushi roll where it's like a three fish roll where it's like salmon, tuna, and whitefish all in one, and then I think they put like avocado on top. Again, like, are you destroying the taste of each of the individual sushis by putting them with each other? Yes, but I don't know, it's good. So, again, eat stuff that you enjoy, but just realize that if you're ordering special rolls at sushi restaurants, you're getting taken advantage